For story at 5:35, a flash flood watch is in effect for low-lying, and flood-prone areas of several parishes. We'll check in with the mayors of St. Anne's Bay and Port Maria.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, should rice and peas and chicken be the new national dish? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio. Message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, in light of several reports of school violence across the island, what role do guidance counselors play in supporting students who are victims? President-elect of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, Leighton Campbell, will join us.
And at 8, it's the A-Team with Dennis Brooks.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and on the Nationwide app, available on Google Play and the App Store, this Friday afternoon, Friday, May 3, 2024.
News at 5 is brought to you by Fostrich Company Limited, fostering rich customer service.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke says a massive increase in the income tax threshold could do more harm than good. Dr. Clarke was responding to questions at the Budget Breakdown 2020 conference put on by the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, CAPRI. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
CAPRI's Executive Director, Dr. Damien King, noted the dangers of relying on income tax as a means of revenue. He simultaneously made the call for an increase in the threshold to $2.5 million.
And the problem of income taxes, in particular, in the specific social circumstances and economic structure of Jamaica. And because of its inefficiency, because it incentivizes informality, because it has a level of horizontal inequity. And you addressed your thinking in the presentation to Parliament. So let's hear the counter argument.
However, Dr. Clarke, while accepting the reasoning, argued otherwise.
But the points that you make about efficiency and about equity are points that I think are valid. They're very valid points. However, what is not addressed is how to do it, because you can do it in a way that introduces other factors that are problematic. For instance, if you were to adjust the threshold in a non-revenue neutral way, then you have to think about equity from another point of view, because the fact remains that the proportion of persons in the tax database who are under, let's use 1.5 for the time being, who were under the 1.5 income tax threshold as a total proportion of the persons in the income tax threshold, you're talking about a number, and I said it in my budget presentation, of 75 to 80%.
Dr. Clarke says moving the threshold without further considerations would be tantamount to taking money from low-income earners and giving it to wealthier individuals.
What that would be equivalent to would be to taking up that pool of money and giving it to a small proportion of the population.
Or relatively well off.
Who are in the context of Jamaica. Nobody looks at themselves as well off, but I have to look at the entire population. I can't just look at the people here who are, and the people you speak to, the people who write in newspapers, the people who have access to opinion leaders, who are all in that minority. I have to think about the vast majority of Jamaicans, who will never appear for the time being in a forum like this, who are below the threshold.
The finance minister says increases in the threshold must be accompanied by measures to protect the most vulnerable.
So the better way would be to think about how we can do it in a revenue neutral, but then we'd be obligated to find ways to protect the vulnerable. And that is not an impossible thing to do. What we did back in 2017-18 and 16-17 was that the allocations to social spending went up by 50% in 1 year. Yeah. So what we'd have to do is absolutely front load social spending, massively increase PATH to make sure that if you have increases in other areas, it doesn't affect them.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The police are making progress in their investigation into the shooting death of 16-year-old Carson Barrett in Grange Hill, Westmoreland last Thursday. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang made the comment while speaking Friday at Grange Hill High School. Mahiri Stewart has that report.
Carson and a 15-year-old schoolmate were shot by men traveling on a motorcycle as they walked on Belle Isle Road. They had left a sports day activity at Grange Hill High School when the gunmen attacked. Carson succumbed to his injuries while the girl was admitted to hospital. On Friday, a delegation led by Dr. Chang visited the school to provide support. Education Minister Fayval Williams also led a team from her ministry. The touring party also visited the Grange Hill Primary, Peggy Barry Primary, and infant schools. Dr. Chang sought to assure Grange Hill High's students that security forces were hard at work to prevent any of them from being victims of violent crimes.
Our officers are capable. That's the job they do in protecting society, is to find perpetrators of violence and criminality, find them and prosecute them. I have every confidence the Commissioner and his team supporting the team in Westmoreland, Superintendent Dobson, will not only find this perpetrator, but will prevent the others from carrying out any more behind-us crime. But if they do, I want to assure you, anybody hurt you as a fellow student in this, whether a fellow student or not, anywhere in Grange Hill or in Westmoreland, this police force is committed to finding him and locking him away. If you want to fight, that's his problem. They are well prepared to deal with that.
Minister Chang says the security forces have intelligence that is helping them in their investigation of Carson's murder.
We're going to pursue the perpetrator relentlessly. Whether he's young or old, we're going to find him and prosecute him. We're going to remove him from the community. And we have accurate intelligence, not veranda talk, or rumor, that there are those from the other side of the crew, because I gather he's from the Crowder area, and it's alleged that someone from the Kings Valley area killed him. There are people in Crowder who are threatening to kill students from that area. The police is here to tell you today. We're not going to intercept and stop it. We're going to put the officers here to monitor that situation and prevent it happening. But I want to tell them, every single one who might be having such thoughts, we'll find them, wherever they go.
And the Education Minister says her ministry is doing its best to put an end to what she describes as abnormal levels of violence in schools.
I want all of you to know that the violence that you may see, the violence that you sometimes witness, is not normal. We want to eradicate it from Jamaica. We want to take violence out of all our schools across Jamaica. We want to put in its place programs that you will enjoy, programs that will excite you to greatness.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
The police are still trying to piece together the circumstances surrounding the gruesome murder of an 80-year-old grandmother in Bamboo St. Anne. The woman, Sylvia Barrett, a farmer and a vendor of Spring Garden, was killed and her house set ablaze. According to the police, on Wednesday at about 6:15 p.m., Ms. Barrett's granddaughter, who lives next door, saw fire coming from a section of her grandmother's house. She raised an alarm and contacted the fire station. The police say the granddaughter and other neighbors managed to extinguish the blaze before firefighters arrived to perform cooling down operations. The police, who arrived on the scene with the firefighters, later proceeded and checked the 4-bedroom concrete dwelling. Ms. Barrett's body was discovered in the dining room, lying on its back. Her hands were tied above her head with an orange-colored electrical wire. Her feet were also bound with the same wire. The police say she also had what appeared to be female clothing tied to her hand, over her face and feet. The matriarch also had what appeared to be light scratches from the fire on her left thigh, left upper arm, and abdomen. The police are appealing to anyone who may have information surrounding the incident to call 119 or to visit the nearest police station.
2 of the men accused of conspiring to kill businesswoman Simone Campbell Collymore are maintaining their innocence. Campbell Collymore and her taxi driver Winston Walters were shot and killed on Stanley Terrace in Red Hills, St. Andrew on January 2, 2018. A post-mortem examination revealed that Simone was shot 19 times while Walters was shot 5 times. Shalois Michael reports.
Dwayne Pink and Shaquila Edwards both face charges of murder and conspiracy to murder. They're jointly charged with Simone's husband, Damar Collymore, who's accused of orchestrating the killing. A third man, Michael Adams, has also been charged with Simone's murder. On Friday, Pink and Edwards delivered their statements in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. Both men declared they had nothing to do with the deaths of Simone and her taxi driver. In his statement, Shaquille Edwards said his source of income is marketing clothes, shoes, and jewelry, along with delivering overseas goods and services. Edwards added that he's the father of a 6-year-old boy. He stated that on April 11, 2018, upon his arrest, 3 months after Simone's death, he was fully cooperative with the police and their investigation. According to Edwards, he told the police everything he knew. He stated, quote, "I had no intentions of committing any murder. I had no agreement with anyone to commit murder. I definitely did not conspire with anyone to commit murder." End quote. For his part, Dwayne Pink denied that he influenced someone to commit the double murder. He declared, quote, "My thinking of this is, I never influence and tell no one to do no such a thing of murdering no one. Me nah go involve myself and think of nothing negative of my life." End quote. Pink further stated that on the day of the murders, he did not recall driving a car with anyone to commit the murders. Pink ended his statement by asserting that he has never thought of killing nor advising anyone to kill. The trial will continue on Monday morning at 10, when both the defense and the prosecution will begin their closing arguments. Shaloy Smichael for Nationwide News.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide 90 FM. More news after these.
Value Drug Pharmacy offers curbside pickup and delivery of your branded and generic drugs. WhatsApp your prescription to 876-881-6695. The time by Value Drug Pharmacy is
13 and a half minutes past 5.
Rentokil Initial is the expert in pest control, air purification, and hygiene services. Call today 876-926-4236.
The temperature by Rentokil is
27 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay.
Touching lives every day, so many different ways, a part of all you do. Sagicor will make you feel secure, reaching out for more, we'll always see you through. Reach for more, whatever you're dreaming, whatever your goals, we'll help you achieve them. You're never alone, taking care of today's needs, take care of tomorrow's dreams, every day helping you succeed. That's what Sagicor means. Today's needs, tomorrow's dreams. Sagicor.
Continuing the news, a parent is alleging that school administrators at Calabar High have done nothing to protect his son, who is consistently being bullied and beaten by his schoolmates. The parent, Jamar Laws, says he has reported his son's verbal and physical abuse to the school 17 times, but nothing has been done. Norgay Banton has the details.
Jamar Laws says he's deeply concerned and frustrated about the ongoing bullying and beatings of his son at Calabar High.
My son get boxed, they hold him and beat him, but his ears bleeding, head.
He says his son, who is in first form, is being terrorized by some of his classmates. And Mr. Laws says, despite his repeated reports and meetings with the teachers, grade supervisors, vice principal, and principal, the situation remains unresolved. He says the school has turned a blind eye to the abuse, emotional distress, and physical assaults on his son. Mr. Laws details one incident in which his son was ganged and beaten by a group of boys.
They were playing in the class, came in the class, and they called him. He did not pay them any mind. So what they did, they went up the front of the class, pull him to the back, kick away his foot, he dropped on his knee, and one of them hold him by his head and push his head on his private part, right? He break from that to go outside. The 5 of them hold him down, or 6 of them hold him down, pin him down on the teacher deck, on the deck, right? And right there now, sir, his phone, his iPhone, the screen cracked. That's when they cut his ears, right? So after they pin him down on the teacher's deck, they did the same thing again, hold him by his head and push up his head to their private part, right? When he came home, he was so traumatized when he came home, and I was so upset as a parent, as a single parent, right? I am dealing with birth and then have to come home and hear this. Like, no parent would want that.
Mr. Laws who was speaking on Cliff Views Online, says he has reported the bullying and beatings to the Constant Spring Police. He says he had to take action because Calabar has done nothing to protect his son despite his many reports about the abuse.
And you said you filed a police report?
Yeah, twice at Constant Spring.
Twice?
Twice. And even the police, they were upset when hearing the matter, right? And all because he's very soft-spoken, too humble. So because he's so humble, they have him as weak sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the teachers, they know this. They all know this. And Mr. Hughes, I've been there 17 times. Nothing came from all of this.
You mean you go to the school?
17 times.
17
right?
times between
17
when?
Time, 1-7.
Between when and when, sir?
From September last year until the last time was last month. Even the second to last day for Champs, that Friday, he got bullied again. And when I went there, they didn't have any time because they had artists in the chapel. So everybody was there. And the principal secretary, she was like, oh, Mr. Laws, if I can stay and wait. I said, no, I've work to go. That was the 17th time. I'm like, I can't deal with this no more.
Mr. Laws has written a letter to the permanent secretary and senior education officer in the Ministry of Education, the school board chairman, the principal, the Old Boys Association, and the PTA. In the letter shared with Nationwide News, Mr. Laws is crying out for help. His fears are compounded by the recent stabbing incident at Irwin High School in St. James, in which a 15-year-old student, Renil Plummer, was stabbed and killed by a schoolmate. Renil's mother says he was being bullied, and despite telling school authorities, they failed to protect him. Mr. Laws' letter is dated April 2022.
Still get back to me and still no, nothing.
How did they communicate with you that they'll get back?
Via email. That's it. And you know the funniest thing, all those teeth you see on the letter, they all got an email. The board, the head, they really don't care about the boys, their youth. Honestly. The only one that responds was Mr. Kenneth. He said he's really, really sorry what my son is going through.
That's Mr. Lawrence, the president of the PTA.
The acting principal, to take up this matter. He was the one that kept the PTA meeting. So we as parents could let our voice be heard. Sir, a lot of these parents, they are afraid to talk because as soon as they start talk, the child become a target, just like mine.
Nora Gay Banton for Nationwide News.
And Nora actually was saying that the letter was dated April 22, 2024, not April 2022. Okay. Meanwhile, the acting principal at Calabar High, Cian Wilson, says she was not aware that there was an ongoing issue of bullying involving Mr. Laws' son. When contacted, Ms. Wilson told our news center that Mr. Laws should visit the school to meet with her in person in order for the matter to be dealt with internally. But that invitation did not comfort Mr. Laws. He says he spoke with her on one occasion when he took the police report of the gang attack on his son to the school. According to Mr. Laws, at that one meeting, Ms. Wilson accused his son of being a troublemaker.
So this I'm like, I've been here 10 times and finally I get to see you now. So she was like, what's the problem? And I was like, honestly, I'm so fed up and I'm angry. So let my son tell her what happened. He started explaining to her and she was like, as soon as he started explaining to her, she's like, no. Weren't you playing? I said, no, miss, I wasn't playing. She's like, no. I don't believe that. You were playing as well. So I stopped her and I like, listen to me, miss, you wasn't playing. She's like, sir, I've been doing this almost 30 years. She sent call Miss Lawrence, the grade supervisor for the 7th grade. When Miss Lawrence came, she asked me to get the boys from my son's class. About 10 of them came. When they came, the office area, right? So the first thing she asked them, was he playing? I expect at least 4 of them going to tell lie or 3 of them going to tell lie. So yes, you were saying in the boy that assaulted him was there. They all said no. He weren't playing.
Jamar Laws, the father of a 7th grade Calabar High School boy who's being continuously bullied and beaten at the institution.
The governing Jamaica Labour Party JLP is welcoming what it describes as a significant and important step in moving up 8 places in the 2024 World Press Freedom Index. The island now ranks 24th out of 180 countries, which represents an improved ranking when compared to the ranking of 32 received last year. Jamaica also has the best press freedom ranking in the Caribbean. The JLP says it's encouraged by the finding that Jamaica ranks among the countries that most respect freedom of information. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says this achievement reflects the government's ongoing commitment to fostering an an environment where journalists can work freely and safely. Mr. Holness says his administration will persist in efforts to further improve the rankings, ensuring that journalists can continue their vital work unhindered. In the meantime, Party General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang noted that Jamaica's improvement in the press freedom rankings was largely due to the JLP administration's steadfast efforts in promoting press freedom. Dr. Chang says it must be noted that freedom has been a guiding principle championed by the party since its inception.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute. A hydroelectric dam has collapsed in southern Brazil after days of heavy rain that triggered massive flooding, killing more than 30 people. Officials say another 60 people are missing in Rio Grande do Sul state. About 15,000 residents have fled their homes since Saturday. At least 500,000 people are without power and clean water across the state.
Former White House aide Hope Hicks testified Friday during former U.S. President Donald Trump's hush money trial about working with him and learning of the infamous Access Hollywood tape. Ms. Hicks served as Trump's campaign spokesperson during 2016. He pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records to conceal the payment. Trump has denied all wrongdoings. Hicks served as the Trump campaign's press secretary and held 2 stints as the White House communications director. She answered questions about the events surrounding the Access Hollywood tapes release. Recorded in 2005, it shows Trump saying he could grab women by their genitals because he was famous. The tape surfaced weeks before the 2016 presidential election. A reporter at the Washington Post emailed Hicks the tape asking for a comment from Trump's presidential campaign. Hicks testified that she forwarded the email to several top campaign staffers, urging them to listen to the tape and deny it.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making the nationwide news at this hour. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says a massive increase in the income tax threshold could do more harm than good.
If you were to adjust the threshold in a non-revenue neutral way, then you have to think about equity from another point of view.
The National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, says progress is being made as police probe the killing of a 16-year-old schoolboy in Grange Hill.
And the father of a student at Calabar High says the school has done nothing to protect his son from constant bullying and physical assault.
My son get back, they hold him and beat him, but his ears bleeding, his head.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News next, headlines at 6. I am George Davis.
And I'm Nora Gay Banton.
News at 5 was brought to you by Fosrich Company Limited, fostering rich customer service.
Is your Strata filing its annual returns? In keeping with the Registration Strata Titles Act, Strata corporations are required to submit an audited financial statement or a copy of its accounts, prepared in keeping with generally accepted accounting principles, signed by the chairman and at least one other member of the executive committee. This must be submitted annually to the Commission of Strata Corporations within 120 days after the end of the financial year. For more information, contact the Commission of Strata Corporations at 926-9748-9.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
And
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Nearly 900 athletes from 52 countries are in the Bahamas for the 6th World Athletics Relays at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in Nassau starting tomorrow. The two-day spectacle serves as the main qualifying event for Relays event at the Paris Olympic Games in the summer. Among the multiple world and Olympic champions who have descended on the Bahamian capital are Noah Lal, Shawnee Miller-Uebo, Marcel Jacobs, and Devine Charlton. President of World Athletics Lord Sebastian Coe, speaking at today's Media Day event, says he's looking forward to an event for the ages.
This is an Olympic year and we have injected some jeopardy. And that jeopardy is simple. There will be teams getting selected here for Paris. I think locally you've referred to it as Paradise to Paris. But that's not all, because of course where many of those teams finish in the next day or so will also determine the advantage or otherwise of lane draws in Paris. So there's a lot to play for here. And like any Olympic trials, there will be people who are going to excel on the occasion. There are those that are probably going to go home a little disappointed, but it is to say that we have an absolutely star-studded cast. I'm not going to say very much more about that because Laura will.
That's Lord Sebastian Coe, president of World Athletics. Jamaica will be in the heats of all the relay events on the opening day, starting with the mixed 4x400 meters at 7:05 p.m. Jamaica time. West Indies women beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in the 5th and final T20 International to take the series 4-1 at the National Stadium in Karachi today. Batting first, Pakistan made 134 for 8 in their 20 overs. Sidra Amin made 48, Muniba Ali 25, and Aisha Zafar 22. Afi Fletcher, she bagged 3 wickets, and Kiana Joseph picked up 2. In response, the West Indies made 136 for 2, and this came inside 19 overs. Captain Hayley Matthews made 78, Rashada Williams 16, and Shemaine Campbell 33 not out. Matthews was named the player of the series.
Our fight, to be honest. I think there were many games where we probably felt like we were out of it. Certainly a few that came down to the wire, but I think everyone kept believing, everyone kept showing the fight. Even the last game, going out there just defending 85 runs, everyone still went out there trying to have that belief and trying to have that fight and kind of that never give up attitude, and it worked really well for us. And look, this series could have looked a whole different if we lost those games that came down to the wire, but we were able to get over the line in each of those, and I think that's what puts us at 7-1 at the end.
West Indies captain Hayley Matthews. New bowling sensation Shamar Joseph was today named in the West Indies 15-man squad for the ICC T20 World Cup starting June 1. Joseph burst onto the scene with 2 stunning performances against Australia in January, including a destructive 7 for 68 in the second test at the Gabba that gave West Indies victory and a share of the series. Joseph is currently playing for the Lucknow Super Giants in the Indian Premier League. Jamaica's Andre Russell, who was left out of the last West Indies World Cup squad, is back for what's expected to be his last stand on the global stage. Captain Rovman Powell and Brandon King are the other Jamaicans in the squad. Johnson Charles, who fired an impressive century for West Indies A against Nepal a few days ago, is also in the squad. The West Indies will open their quest for a 3rd World Cup title on June 2. They take on Papua New Guinea in Guyana, and the lead selector Desmond Haynes says the squad presents the best opportunity for the Caribbean side to win a 3rd title. Now, the coach Darren Sammy says preparation for the World Cup actually started 2 years ago.
This preparation did not start now. You know, from the last World Cup in Australia, the preparation started. And what we've been able to do throughout the last year as a T20 group, you know, the players that we've exposed, the preparations that we've put in place has brought us to this moment. And I think we're about to knock it out of this world.
That's Darren Sammy. Now, the other members of the squad, Alzari Joseph is the vice captain, Johnson Charles, Ruston Chase, Shimron Hitmar, Jason Holder, Shea Hope, Akil Hussain, Shamar Joseph, Gudekesh Moti, Nicholas Puran, Sherfane Rutherford, and Romario Shepherd. Now, it's time for the Nationwide Olympic Facts, sponsored by Fontana Pharmacy.
This is Nationwide's Olympic Facts, brought to you by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside.
Did you know that Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is the first Caribbean woman to win 100 meters gold at the Olympics? Yes, that's a fact. At 21 years old, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce rose from relative obscurity to win gold at the 2008 Beijing Olympics.
That was Nationwide's Olympic Facts. Brought to you by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside.
Yeah, who can forget that night when Shelley lit up the bird's nest in the Chinese capital, and a lot of people are hoping that she does so on her swan song in Paris again this summer. Of course, Nationwide 90 FM, the authority on the Olympic Games and the only place to listen to the Olympic Games during the summer. No other radio station in the country with the right to carry the Olympic Games except Nationwide 90 FM. So you're going to be with us right throughout those 17, 18 days of top-class action right here on this station. All right, that's sports for now. We're going to be back, though, at 6:05 with more.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hyundai, the home of modern premium affordable vehicles. Call us at 876-630-1511. The time by Hyundai is
5:31.
You didn't know that the government decreased JUTC bus fares? Yes, it's now 70 for adults, 25 for children, and 30 for pensioners. And in April, fares will go down even further to 50 for adults, 20 for children, and 25 for pensioners.
The temperature by the office of the Prime Minister is
27 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 28 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. When you're good, you're just good. Hey, had the national flavor. You go want to buy this bag. So good, it's just so good. Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. National Baking Company, just so good.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GeoLand Title Limited. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates. First-time registration land surveys also included. Affordable rates and flexible payment options. NLA adjudication and land titling waivers also available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. GeoLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
3 meters clear, 5 meters clear, and away he goes. He continues on his way towards another gold medal. 5 gold medals, 5 world records.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, Fosrich, fostering rich customer service across all locations island-wide.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really clip you, Stonky?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also, tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Click News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
.5:36 on this Friday afternoon, it's May 3, 2024. It's Turner's month, the day after Turner Thomas's birthday. We're still celebrating that. This, though, is the Nationwide cover story, and my name is George Davis.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
How are you, sir?
Doing quite well.
You were here early today.
Very early.
Are you awake?
I'm awake enough.
Awake enough, because the time I saw you, you're not when you're not when you're asleep them time there. Good on you, young man. You should work. You're a young fit boy. All right, let's get on with it, because a flash flood watch is in effect for low-lying and the flood-prone areas in several parishes. Those parishes: Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, St. Thomas, Portland, Kingston, and St. Andrew.
According to the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, light to moderate showers as well as occasional thunderstorms affected most parishes on Thursday. Meteorologist Ainsworth Sadler says improved conditions are expected by Saturday.
Improved weather conditions are expected late Friday into Saturday as the trough weakens across the Central Caribbean. Fishers and other marine interests should exercise caution as sea conditions will deteriorate due to thunderstorms and strong gusty winds.
That's Ainsworth Sadler, meteorologist. In the meantime, Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis, says the municipal corporation has the capacity to respond to the damage caused by heavy rains, which have pummeled the parish since the start of the week. Video circulating on social media showed several flooded roadways in Oterius on Wednesday.
All right, so we're trying to make a link with Mayor Michael Belnavis. For the moment, though, we're going to crack on with the Mayor of Port Maria, Fitzroy Wilson. Mayor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir, and good afternoon to your listeners.
All right, tell us what's happening out in Port Maria, out in the parish broadly.
Well, Port Maria is as beautiful as it used to be. And we've been affected by some well-needed rain, because sometimes we ask for it and then when we get it, we don't appreciate it. But we've been having some drought from earlier on this year. God is blessing us with some rainfall. The farmers are welcoming it. But at the same time, the trivialities that comes and the danger that comes also with the rainfall. For today, we have not had any serious effects of the rainfall. I myself would have checked on and traveled a few of the electoral divisions since morning. Mm-hmm. I've been into Castleton, a part of Anata Bay, a part of Islington, Highgate Division, Port Maria, Retreat, and also Boscobel. I haven't gone into Gale and Carnal Division, basically. And from what we've seen a little disturbance with maybe a little land slippage, nothing major. But we are just coming from Anata Bay area, from Castleton area, where they had a heavy downpour of rain all the way into almost to the town of Port Maria. But from the town of Port Maria down to the White River border, we don't have any rain at this time, maybe a little overcast. But on the western section of the parish, it's fairly clear and bright. But
so based on the past few days and the parts of the parish that have had significant rain, tomorrow is Big Market Day. You're saying nothing to cause inconvenience or discomfort for shoppers navigating navigating the markets and vendors themselves.
No, and I will say no. From my information and my observation as well, I just see nothing at all. We've had an incident earlier on in the week where we had a blockage of the road in Castleton going through the junction, a tree falling. We have not had anything reported since then of anything of disruption of the road network or any flooding in any areas. As I said, I've been in Port Maria for most of the day today. There were vendors out on the street. There were everybody out in full flight. We have not had any incidents of flooding reported from any sections. And as I said before, I would have been in communication with persons in the other areas that we've not in. Carnal areas I've spoken with the council for that area, Councillor Hutchinson, who reported that there was heavy rainfall and breeze, heavy wind, but there wasn't any serious incidents reported or any major land slippage or flooding in those areas.
Sir Mayor, in many of these instances, it tends to be a matter of drainage rather than the level of the rainfall. So what you're suggesting to me is that the drainage up there in Port Maria seems to be quite spot on.
Well, we are not where we are. If I may, since I've taken over as mayor, we have embarked on some drain cleaning, especially in Wardner Street area, part of the Pachi area, the locality of Fort Maria. We've done some drain cleaning. We're far away from going to where we expect to going into the rainy season, coming up on the hurricane season. We are going to intensify the drain cleaning, but we've seen a difference in there. We haven't seen any semblance of flooding, thank God. And we hope that we don't get there, despite the fact that the farmers and the parish need the rain because the water situation was becoming untenable or unbearable. But yes, the drainage system needs a lot of improvement, needs a lot more cleaning. But as it is now, we have not had any incidents. We've had some drain cleaning, but we need to intensify it into this month, going into June, and that is the plan going into June month.
So you've dodged the worst this trip. But give me an idea, Mayor, before we let you go. How difficult it is, step by step, to have funds released to deal with disasters of the kind brought on by torrential rain? Do you have money sitting in a kitty that you activate, funds that you activate immediately, or do you have to write to approval to Central Ministry for funds to be released? Give us an idea of the process.
All right, there is. As you would have alluded to, sometimes getting funding to do some of these things is like pulling teeth. But we would have had a little thing in the kitty in the municipal corporation for emergency purposes. In case of emergency, we could activate our emergency plan, and we would have had some assistance to be given to the people until the ministry would respond with more favorable financial support. But the short answer to the question is yes, we would have had some emergency funds at the municipal corporation to attend to any immediate emergency that might arise.
Mm-hmm. Mayor Michael Bell Nevis is joining the conversation. He's the mayor of St. Anne's Bay. But let's just take this up after the break. Stay where you are, gentlemen. This is Nationwide at 5.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
5:44.
We are the best at what we do. At Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, we supply hose, fittings, and tools. We guarantee we can't be beaten when price and quality are combined. You brand us the Hose and Tool Boss because we deliver the most effective industrial solutions. Come in and experience the joy of shopping with Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. Call us 876-923-3936 or visit 173 Hagley Park Road, 2 Charlesworth Crescent, or Montego Bay Trade Center. Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. More than just hoses. Now open every Sunday.
The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica presents its annual spring concert season at the University Chapel, Uwimona. 3 nights, May 17 to 19. Hear classical favorites by Mozart, Strauss, Bizet, and the outstanding Marley Symphony. Solo performances by Rafael Salazar on clarinet and Giovanni Williams on violin. Tickets at Music Mart and Monarch Pharmacies, Sovereign, Barbican, and Tropical Plaza. Check the press and Facebook for details. The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica in concert, May 17 to 19 at the University Chapel.
Welcome back to the cover story. It's 5:45, and we're touching upon the flash flood watch, which is in effect for several parishes across the country, including the parish of St. Anne, rather. And we have with us the mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis. Good afternoon, Sir Belnavis. Mr. Belnavis, are you there, sir? Is Mr. Wilson, are you still there, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, I'm here.
So, Mr. Wilson, can you assist us? You have your market day coming up tomorrow, so everything is on schedule for that to go off without any problems.
Yes, we are. And we've done some checks with the relevant department in the municipal corporation. The market is up and running as usual. We've not we've really put some people on alert in case the rain intensifies this evening. But as it is, we've not had that heavy downpour of rain in Port Maria for today. It would have been worse yesterday into last night, but we have not had that downpour today. So it is business as usual in the town of Port Maria as we speak.
I know you're happy for the rain, but just a matter regarding the drought and the farmers. How have things been doing? How have you been coping?
It was a troubling feeling, tell you the truth. We would have had problems especially with the distribution of water. NWC would have put on some restrictions, and for the parish, we get water system would be.
Proceed, Mayor.
Yeah, the main water system we would get from the Bogue plant in St. Anne, and the water would be coming into St. Mary regulated, and so we would have had several issues. We would have to be trucking water to different areas of the parish that would normally be fed by the National Water System, National Water Commission system. So the farmers would have had a problem losing their crops because enough water to irrigate their plants and stuff like that. So we are happy, and I know the farmers are happy for the rain. It's just that as a corporation, we need to work closer with especially RADA and the farmers to really see how we can have proper storage of water and distribution of water, especially to an important sector as the farmers. Whenever this comes, because this is a yearly thing. Almost every year at this time of year, March coming down, we would have been going through this situation. So we need to look as an authority and as a government, how do we mitigate against these efforts? Because I don't think it's getting better. Looking down 10 years down the road, it's going to be a lot worse than this. So as a government, we need to take the stance and put in the necessary things that need to be put in to mitigate against this drought and climate change.
Yeah. I want to ask about the delivery of water trucks, the delivery by water trucks, because we spoke to the water minister on the early program on Nationwide this morning, last week, and he said that there was a point when 50% of all the water trucks in the island were directed towards the western end to deal with emergencies out in Westmoreland and Hanover, which led me to think, well, what was the situation in the rest of the island? Has the situation in St. Mary been so bad that there is there was even a busy trucking schedule across various divisions to meet the needs of residents and farmers?
Yes, in particular divisions. Some of the divisions, as you know, would be more affected than some because some is primarily farming areas, some are not. So we at the Municipal Corporation, we have a water truck. The Municipal Corporation owns a water truck, which we use to help in situations where the NWC might have a shortfall. So we have an understanding with them, and we communicate and cooperate with them where that is concerned. The water trucks would be busy, yes, in St. Mary. We have the filling plant at Liquor Bay there where the NWC would facilitate the filling of water trucks to be distributed over the parish. And at times you go there, you will see increased amount of trucks waiting to be filled, to be distributed across the the parish. So yes, we've seen uptick in the transportation of water over the parish. But as I said, we would have still had a problem because sometimes the water coming in from Bogue is so low that it hampers the loading of the trucks at the loading bay in Liquor Bay.
Hear you on
the
that.
trucks would be loaded fast enough and go on to their distribution area.
Mayor Wilson, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir.
Excellent. The mayor of Port Maria. We turn our attention now to the story that really has people commenting from earlier today. It concerns a student at Calabar High that his father claims has been the subject of repeated bullying, and that parent alleges that school administrators at Calabar have done nothing to protect his son. His son consistently bullied and beaten by his schoolmates. The parent, Jamar Laws, says he has reported his son's verbal and physical abuse to the school 17 times. He says nothing has been done. He says he's been left deeply concerned and frustrated.
My son get boxed, they hold him and beat him, but his ears bleeding, head.
He says his son, who's in first form, is being terrorized by some of his classmates, and that despite Mr. Laws' repeated efforts and meetings with the teachers, grade supervisors, vice principal and principal, in short, he's met with everybody who you would be reasonably expecting to get assistance from. That situation remains unresolved.
He says the school has turned a blind eye to the abuse, emotional distress, and physical assaults on his son. Mr. Laws details one incident in which his son was ganged and beaten by a group of boys.
They were playing in the class, came in the class, and they called him. He did not pay them any mind. So what they did, they went up the front of the class, pull him to the back, kick away his foot, he dropped on his knee, and one of them hold him by his head and push his head on his private part, right? He break from that to go outside. The 5 of them hold him down, or 6 of them hold him down, pin him down on the teacher deck, on the deck, right? And right there now, sir, his phone, his iPhone, the screen cracked. That's when they cut his ears, right? So after they pin him down on the teacher's deck, they did the same thing again, hold him by his head and push up his head to their private part, right? When he came home, he was so traumatized when he came home, and I was so upset as a parent, as a single parent, right? I am dealing with work and then have to come home and hear this. Like, no parent wouldn't want that.
Jamar Laws, the father of a student at Calabar High who has been subject, according to his father, to repeated bullying, physical assault, and demeaning acts perpetrated by his classmates. Those are the allegations. Now, let's stop here, Siobhan, and speak for a minute. These things are difficult as parents. And you have a student in the situation he claims, and he says, not that I've been there one time, or I've been there 7 times. I've been there 17 times, and he can name who he has spoken to and when he has spoken to them, letters he has written, and the fact that nothing has been done. So you have to ask, what's happening at Calabar? Is the class that the young man is in, does that class not have what we call a prefect in my time? And I'm sounding like an old man now. Do we not have class monitors? In my time, Siobhan, you weren't far behind. You had 2 representatives in the class, a boy and a girl, who were were dubbed students' counselors.
Yeah.
So,
that hasn't changed.
And then above the students' council, you had the form captain. You had a female form captain and a male form captain. So that's 4 prefects in each class. And you say that really pretty much hasn't changed. So is it that these things happened outside? And I'm not picking on the student leaders, but I'm just saying student leaders ought to be in a situation like that. So what happened there? So the issue was too big for them. So you're saying that holding down a student and doing these things to him, what time did this happen? Did this happen during break time when there was no teacher present? Did no teacher hear what was happening? Did nobody see the boys ganging up on another student and intervene? This has been left to carry on like this, and you have a little boy traumatized. High school first year, that sets the tone for everything else.
Precisely, he's just starting.
Yes, and I find this hard.
I think what's most troubling is the persistency of it. It's not a one-off incident. It's not an incident that happened a few parts between. It seems to be a consistent attempt to bully this one child, and no intervention from the administration of the school just seems troubling to me.
And we know that teenagers are like rabid animals when we find weakness in anybody. We were teenagers once, and we know the behavior. So you are right. The fact is that they see the boy as a weakling. And what happens in high school, you pick on a weakling, especially when the weakling, in your perspective, has nobody to help them, no protection. There's no firewall between the abusers and this little boy who his father sends to school to advance his education. Calabar, what's happening? How can a parent seek after intervention 17 times and has now had to resort to coming to the public airwaves to register the fact that his son is without assistance, without a shield, in a high school where responsible adults, men and women of decades of experience in teaching, are working? How can this happen? And I say to the parents of the boys, other boys at Calabar, who are prefects, who are part of student leadership, what happened? You don't think you need to intervene as well? So I'm talking to everybody. The students as well. So I'm starting there. Because in my circumstances, this is what the prefects intervened in and said, no, man, load the youth, no, man, ease him up, no. What will I do? Yeah? So are we saying that this thing happens behind the back of all 4 prefects, if there are 4? Of all teachers, of all persons on faculty or staff at the institution? These boys are secretly preying on this little boy? I don't think so, because based on what the father said, it's in the classroom, on teacher's desk, pinning him down, like they're conducting an experiment.
And it would seem there's almost no respect for an authority for this to be so consistent over such a long period of time, because the minute a prefect enters a classroom, at least back in my day, any form of messing around just ends right there.
Yes.
You stop right there.
Okay, you'll be reported.
Exactly.
And there are consequences to being reported. So it has this, it might sound we're not blaming other people's children, but there's a reason high schools appoint student leaders, because certain things start with them. That's where the discipline begins to be enforced.
As I said, if you have a breakdown of authority in one area, it's not unlikely that there is a breakdown of authority elsewhere. And it would suggest to me, for something like this to continue for this extended period of time, there has to be a complete breakdown of authority at the school.
And notwithstanding the fact, yes, Trevor, I'm agreeing with you, and notwithstanding the fact that we are talking about our prefects and asking, so, boy, you know what happened? This is all about the adults. This is all about the adults at Calabar. 17 trips to the school. 1-7, the man said to Cliff. 1-7, 17. And still no intervention. This is one of the most troubling stories I've heard in a while, because I can't believe the serial abuse according to the father. And the school can't come out and say, well, this is the intervention we have made on Mr. Laws' behalf, and so forth, so forth. The school is supposed to be a safe environment. The classroom is supposed to be a safe area, a safe part of the environment. Being a part of a name brand school is supposed to mean something. There are certain things that attach to it, that attend to being a part of a school family with the reputation of Calabar has. Why is it that it seems as if Calabar's reputation is like chaff in the wind, and the breeze blow hard, and all of the chaff is just blowing away? But maybe it's chaff for real. Calabar, we need to do better. That's the cover story.
Say hello to peace of mind and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan and secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness today. Call 888-367-5433 for details.
The time by Guardian Life is
6 o'clock.
Corian Solid Surface, so versatile and beautiful. It's non-porous, no sealing necessary, renewable and repairable, so easy to clean and maintain, and can be thermoformed into any shape. Choose Corian, the #1 solid surface in the world, when you want beauty and the best for your countertop. Visit Home International Limited, located at 104 Constance Ring Road. Telephone 755-1970 or 924-0437.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. The Media Association of Jamaica, MAJ, is lamenting the continued threats to journalism on a global scale. It made note of the geopolitical tensions centered around Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, and Haiti. The MAJ says journalists often find themselves on the front line of such violence in a bid to perform their duties in covering the developments. It also expressed that media houses continue to struggle to earn sufficiently and provide decent wages for their journalists. It also made mention of the competition between traditional and digital media, as well as artificial intelligence. The MAJ says the trickle-down effects of global dynamics continue to affect Jamaica's ability to operate effectively. It says Jamaica still contends with outdated defamation legislation and suppresses information of public interest. The MAJ also made mention of the new Data Protection Act and the new Broadcast Code, which it says further impedes good journalism. The association is calling for a collaborative effort to tackle these issues so local media can thrive. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says a massive increase in the income tax threshold could do more harm than good if not properly managed. Dr. Clark was responding to questions at the Budget Breakdown 2024 conference held by the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, CAPRI. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Executive Director Dr. Damian King noted the dangers of relying on income tax as a means of revenue. He simultaneously made the call for an increase in the threshold to $2.5 million.
And the problem of income taxes, in particular, in the specific social circumstances and economic structure of Jamaica. And because of its inefficiency, because it incentivizes informality, because it has a level of horizontal inequity, and you addressed your thinking in the presentation to Parliament. So let's hear the counter argument.
However, Dr. Clark, while accepting the reasoning, argued otherwise.
But the points that you make about efficiency and about equity are points that I think are valid. They're very valid points. However, what is not addressed is how to do it, because you can do it in a way that introduces other factors that are problematic. For instance, if you were to adjust the threshold in a non-revenue neutral way, then you have to think about equity from another point of view, because the fact remains that the proportion of persons in the tax database who are under, let's use 1.5 for the time being, who were under the 1.5 income tax threshold as a total proportion of the persons in the income tax threshold, you're talking about a number, and I said it in my budget presentation, of 75 to 80%.
Dr. Clark says moving the threshold without further considerations would be tantamount to taking money from low-income earners and giving it to wealthier individuals.
What that would be equivalent to would be to taking up that pool of money and giving it to a small proportion of the population.
Or relatively well off.
Who are in the context of Jamaica, nobody looks at themselves as well off, but I have to look at the entire population. I can't just look at the people here who are, and the people you speak to, the people who write in newspapers, the people who have access to opinion leaders, who are all in that minority. I have to think about the vast majority of Jamaicans, who will never appear for the time being in a forum like this, who are below the threshold.
The finance minister says increases in the threshold must be accompanied by measures to protect the most vulnerable.
So the better way would be to think about how we can do it in a revenue neutral, but then we'll be obligated to find ways to protect the vulnerable. And that is not an impossible thing to do. What we did back in 2017, 18, and 16, 17 was that the allocations to social spending went up by 50% in 1 year. Yeah. So what we'd have to do is absolutely front load social spending, massively increase path to make sure that if you have increases in other areas, it doesn't affect them.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The police are trying to piece together the circumstances surrounding the gruesome murder of an 80-year-old grandmother in Bamboo St. Anne. The woman, Sylvia Barrett, a farmer and vendor of Spring Garden, was found dead. Her house was also set ablaze on Wednesday. According to police, at about 6:15 p.m., Miss Barrett's granddaughter, who lives next door, saw fire coming from a section of her grandmother's house. She raised an alarm and contacted the fire station. The police say the granddaughter and other neighbors managed to extinguish the blaze before firefighters arrived to perform cooling down operations. The police, who arrived on the scene with the firefighters, later went ahead and checked the four-bedroom concrete dwelling. Miss Barrett's body was discovered in the dining room lying on her back. Her hands were tied above her head with an orange-colored electrical wire. Her feet were also bound with the same color wire. Police are making progress in their investigation into the shooting death of 16-year-old Carson Barrett in Grange Hill, Westmoreland last Thursday. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang made the comment while speaking Friday at Grange Hill High School. Dr. Chang sought to assure Grange Hill High's students that security forces were hard at work to prevent any of them from being victims of violent crimes.
Our officers are capable. That's the job they do in protecting society, is to find perpetrators of violence and criminality, find them and prosecute them. I have every confidence the Commissioner and his team supporting the team in Westmoreland, Superintendent Dobson, will not only find this perpetrator, but will prevent the others from carrying out any more behind-us crime. But if they do, I want to assure you, anybody hurt you as a fellow student in this, whether a fellow student or not, anywhere in Grange Hill or in Westmoreland, this police force is committed to finding him and locking him away. If you want to fight, that's his problem. They are well prepared to deal with that.
Minister Chang says the security forces have intelligence that is helping them in their investigation of Carson's murder.
We're going to pursue the perpetrator relentlessly. Whether he's young or old, we're going to find him and prosecute him. We're going to remove him from the community. And we have accurate intelligence, not veranda talk, or rumor, that there are those from the other side of the crew, because I gather he's from the Crowder area, and it's alleged that somebody from the Kings Valley area killed him. There are people in Crowder who are threatening to kill students from that area. The police is here to tell you today. We're not going to intercept and stop it. We're going to put the officers here to monitor that situation and prevent it happening. But I want to tell them, every single one who might be having such thoughts, we'll find them wherever they go.
And the Education Minister, Fayval Williams, says her ministry is doing its best to put an end to what she describes as abnormal levels of violence in schools.
I want all of you to know that the violence that you may see, the violence that you sometimes witness, is not normal. We want to eradicate it from Jamaica. We want to take violence out of all our schools across Jamaica. We want to put in its place programs that you will enjoy, programs that will excite you to greatness.
Fayval Williams, Minister of Education. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Sports is next.
Make we keep Jamaica clean. Me as if we keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica clean. Our duty to keep our island clean. Mobile to Kingston, sidewalk and beach. Bag it, bill it, recycle it, please. Proper garbage disposal, me could do it. Keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Good evening with your sports report. I am Alric Swaby. We start with track and field. Nearly 900 athletes from 52 countries are in the Bahamas for the 6th World Athletics Relays at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in Nassau starting tomorrow. The two-day spectacle serves as the main qualifying event for relay events at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Among the multiple world and Olympic champions who've descended on the Bahamian capital are Noah Lyles, Shawnee Miller-Weibo, Marcel Jacobs and Divine Charlton. President of World Athletics, Lord Sebastian Coe, speaking at today's Media Day event, says he's looking forward to an event for the ages.
This is an Olympic year and we have injected some jeopardy. And that jeopardy is simple. There will be teams getting selected here for Paris. I think locally you've referred to it as Paradise to Paris. But that's not all, because of course where many of those teams finish in the next day or so will also determine the advantage or otherwise of lane draws in Paris. So there's a lot to play for here. And like any Olympic trials, there will be people who are going to excel on the occasion. There are those that are probably going to go home a little disappointed, but it is to say that we have an absolutely star-studded cast. I'm not going to say very much more about that because Laura will.
Lord Sebastian Coe. Shanna Richards-Ross competed at the first two staging in 2014 and 2015 editions of the World Relays in the Bahamas, notching up 2 victories in the 4x400 meters plus a world record in the distance mile medley relay.
I'm looking forward to it all, but, you know, of course I am biased, so I love to see the 4x4s, and I think, Seb talked about the innovation around the mixed relay, something that we used to always talk about. What would that look like in our time? Who would Team USA choose for men and women? And so, I'm still very intrigued by the mixed relays and seeing how they put the teams together and, where the countries land. I think it provides a lot of equity across countries when you put 2 men and 2 women together in the 4x4. So I would say that I'm looking forward most to seeing that here this weekend.
Shanna Richards-Ross. Jamaica will be in the heats of all the relay events on the opening day, starting with the mixed 4x400 meters at 7:05 p.m. Jamaica time. Now on to cricket, as West Indies women beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in the 5th and final T20 International to take the series 4-1 at the National Stadium in Karachi today. Batting first, Pakistan made 134 for 8 off their 20 overs. Shidra Amin made 48, Muniba Ali 25 and Aisha Safar 22. Afi Fletcher finished with figures of 3 for 17, while Kiana Joseph took 2 wickets for the Windies. In reply, the West Indies made 136 for 2 inside 19 overs. Captain Hayley Matthews made 78, Rashida Williams 16 and Shermeen Campbell 33 not out. Matthews was named player of the match and series.
Our fight, to be honest. I think there were many games where we probably felt like we were out of it. Certainly a few that came down to the wire, but I think everyone kept believing, everyone kept showing the fight. Even the last game, going out there just defending 85 runs, everyone still went out there trying to have that belief and trying to have that fight and kind of that never give up attitude, and it worked really well for us. And look, this series could have looked a whole different if we lost those games that came down to the wire, but we were able to get over the line in each of those, and I think that's what puts us at 7-1 at the end.
She says they experimented with the batting order throughout the tour.
We've shifted around the batting order a bit this series and really tried to mesh some people together, and I think it's quite commendable the way our girls went about it. I think Shemaine Campbell for us had a really good series at number 3. I think her first time probably batting at number 3 for us throughout the entire series, and she really took a lot of responsibility there and was able to bat and support me in every single game. And yeah, I think as our order went on, we saw girls coming in small bursts and making impacts on the game, and I think especially in T20 cricket, that's what's so important, and our girls were able to do that.
Hayley Matthews, Pakistan captain Nida Dar, says they were let down by their batting.
Our bowling side is doing really well. Spinners doing their job and fast bowlers as well. Looking point is our batting side, and I think so in the middle order, batters should take responsibility. I think so we should need to work on it.
Nida Dar. New bowling sensation Shamar Joseph was today named in the West Indies 15-man squad for the ICC T20 World Cup starting June 1. Joseph burst onto the scene with two stunning performances against Australia in January, including a destructive 7 for 68 in the second test at the Gabba that gave West Indies victory and a share of the series. Joseph is currently playing for the Lucknow Super Giants in the Indian Premier League. Jamaica's Andre Russell, who was left out of the last West Indies World Cup squad, is back for what is expected to be his last stand-on in a global tournament. Captain Rovman Powell and Brandon King are the other Jamaicans in the squad. Johnson Charles, who fired an impressive century for West Indies A against Nepal a few days ago, is also in the squad. The West Indies will open their quest for a third T20 title on June 2 against Papua New Guinea in Guyana. The two-time champions will compete in Group C, which includes Afghanistan, New Zealand, and two ICC associate teams, Papua New Guinea and Uganda. CWI lead selector Desmond Haynes says the squad presents the best opportunity for the Caribbean side to win a third title.
I'm very excited about this. This is a very good time in West Indies cricket. I believe that we've got a team that could win this World Cup, and I feel good about this. I feel that we can win this World Cup. I'm making it very clear to everybody that whatever team that you hear us put out today, that team we feel is going to win the World Cup. We had preparations for the last year, whereas that the majority of the players, we had them involved and they were very successful in the year. And I just want to say that this is a very exciting time for us here in the West Indies, and I think that I will hope that everyone in the Caribbean and all the West Indian fans will support us because this is our best chance to win the World Cup.
Desmond Haynes. West Indies coach Darren Sammy says preparation for the World Cup started 2 years ago.
This preparation did not start now. From the last World Cup in Australia, the preparation started. And what we've been able to do throughout the last year as a T20 group, the players that we've exposed, the preparations that we've put in place has brought us to this moment. And I think we're about to knock it out of this world.
Sammy, who was captain of the West Indies, which won the World Cup in 2012 and 2016, says the World Cup anthem is a true representation of the desire of the Caribbean side.
You listen to the words, it says this moment is all we've been waiting for, knock it out of this world. And I think, like Desi said, it's an amazing opportunity for us, not only for us as a selection group and a West Indies team, but for the region. I know so many prime ministers are eagerly waiting for visitors to come to our shores, and for us, we've known how to select winning teams.
Darren Sammy, all teams are allowed to make changes to their squad up until May 25. After that date has passed, any alteration will require approval from ICC's Event Technical Committee. Now on to football. As president of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts has expressed his congratulations to captain of the senior women's national team, Khadija Bonnie Shaw, who has been voted the Football Writers Association's Women's Player of the Year in England's Women's Super League. Shaw received a record 53% of the votes, indicating the tremendous impact she had on Manchester City and the overall quality and consistency of her performances this season. She scored 21 goals and engineered 3 assists in 18 games before injury curtailed her season. Ricketts says this award is a beautiful feather in her cap and a massive advertisement for Jamaica's football.
We're just simply totally excited. Khadija Shaw is one of our homegrown players whom the JFF would have supported from day one. From she was at Crescent Primary through to St. Diego, through to her entire sojourn. We are just absolutely delighted. I mean, it's just simply remarkable that one seemingly ordinary Jamaican could have excelled. And really, she has made us very, very proud.
Ricketts says this augurs well for the national team in the future.
Football no longer is played for fun. Football now can be big business. And Khadija, based on her achievement, must provide the kind of a catalyst, the kind of encouragement, the kind of a fillip that would motivate scores of young boys and girls to aspire to what level she would have achieved. This certainly must socially impact the social well-being of probably every single boy and girl who would have been made aware of her achievements.
Michael Ricketts. Luton Town missed the chance to move out of the English Premier League relegation zone as they drew 1-1 with Everton at Kenilworth Road today. Dominic Calvert-Lewin sent Everton ahead from the penalty spot in the 24th minute before Elijah Adebayo leveled the scores 7 minutes later, and it finished all squared in Luton.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin for Everton, and he gets it through. A penalty that does the Hatters harm, but for Everton, a first half advantage. Adebayo stealing in behind, brilliant! Superb! Oh, they've missed him. Why have they missed him? Luton Town, level.
The result has left Rob Edwards' side in 18th place spot in the table, level on 26 points with 17th place Nottingham Forest, who now have a game in hand, while Everton stay 15th, moving on to 37 points from their 36 matches. And finally, in basketball, Police and the Panthers are currently meeting in the first match of a doubleheader in the GK1 Howard McCarthy Community Basketball League at the Exed courts. In the second match, the home team Exed Heats entertained Michael Wasp. Meanwhile, in yesterday's results, Majestic Gardens Legends beat Phoenix Net Trippers 85-54 at Edgewater Court. Tijone Forbes scored 25 points and 16 rebounds, while David Thomas had 12 points, 24 rebounds, 7 blocks, and 8 assists for the Legends. I'm Alric Sraby, and that's your sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:22.
Upgrade your kitchen and bathroom to the next level with Unique Living. They're the ultimate destination for all your kitchen and bathroom needs, from luxurious shower systems to exquisite faucets, vanities, sinks, toilets, closets, and more. They have it all. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call them at 876-755-3661. Elevate your space with Unique Living, where quality meets expectations.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
3 meters clear, 5 meters clear, and away he goes. He continues on his way towards another gold medal. 5 gold medals, 5 world records.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, Fosrich, fostering rich customer service across all locations island-wide.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening. Good evening and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Mahiri Stewart. And today it's Friday, naturally. So we have Frivolous Friday. We ask you a light-hearted question just to end the week on a lighter note. Now, we have been having quite the debate, and it didn't just start today. It's been an ongoing debate about the validity of the national dish. Some parties in the Nationwide newsroom, specifically one, I guess, was saying the national dish should be something that everybody eats every day, and that ackee and saltfish isn't something that's normally consumed. And the debate became, should the national dish be ackee and saltfish, or should it be something that is constantly consumed by Jamaicans on a daily basis? So we decided to think of what meal that could be. What meal is consistently consumed by Jamaicans on a daily basis? And we came to the conclusion that it was rice and peas and chicken. So naturally, it didn't take rocket scientists for us to determine what pub up was going to be today. So here we go, folks. Should rice and peas and chicken be the new national dish of Jamaica?
No, sir. No, son. We love rice and peas, yes, and we eat it 7 days a week, but the national dish good as it is, man. Ackee and saltfish, you know. If I change from that, I must KFC, I gotta be the national dish. That's the only thing Jamaican eat more than anything else.
What you're telling me that it isn't, that rice and peas and chicken isn't our national dish? I thought it was.
No, sir. How much national dish Jamaica have? You know, sir, roast bread, fruit, ackee and saltfish are Jamaica national dish. They want the rice and peas sweet up? Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Rice and peas, some people get to cook rice and peas on a Sunday, they don't feel good enough. They not cook no food for the rice and peas, they are cooking. Hey, some Jamaican people literally no cook no food unless the rice and peas they are cooking. They have to cook rice and peas on a Sunday, you know. Yeah, man. Native Jamaican people, man, they have to cook rice and peas on a Sunday. So, that'll be a national dish.
All right, folks. Those were a few of our answers. Let's take a look at what people are saying on social media. Yes, let's start with Instagram. So we did another one of them polls. Instagram allows you to do polls. So you can ask yes or no questions and you can just vote for them in the comment section. We asked on Public Opinion today, should rice and peas and chicken be the new national dish of Jamaica? And we got some responses. 35 people responded. 26% said yes and 74% said no. Let's get into the detailed answers. Jet Slate says, does it even matter? Does it even matter? Ackee always scarce and saltfish is so expensive, not to mention chicken. Jamaican Advocate says, ackee and saltfish is so much better tasting. What else we have here? Barrington Buck says, rice nagroya can't have a national dish with foreign ingredients. Padworthy says, another rubbish question. Javi says, no, shouldn't be the national dish. Dwight Spence went further. He says, hell to the no. What else we have here? Felly Levy says, jerk chicken, because it's originated in Jamaica. But ackee can stay. All right. And Leighton Levy says, no. Let's go over to X. OG says, sure, but keep ackee as the national fruit. Saltfish isn't Jamaican from day one. Chicken a thing. Isle Cartel says, definitely not. Elon Musk admirer says, no. National dish should have something exotic about it, and chicken is too common. So that implies that saltfish is exotic. Would you say saltfish is exotic, Bugs? Is saltfish exotic? No, same. I feel like saltfish is kind of basic as well, but fair enough, yeah. Dizzle says we eat it more than the national dish, so ... All right. That was kind of the reasoning behind the question, though, yeah? People were saying, if it's something that we eat on a normal basis, maybe it really is the national dish, regardless of what, regardless of what the country says. We have 34 responses on Facebook. Let's see what some of these guys are saying. Neil Walters says it should be ackee and corn pork. Saltfish don't come from Jamaica. Sean Major Campbell says that would have to be rice and peas and fried chicken with curry gravy. All right, what else we have here? I'm not so sure, says Mark Julius. 99% of Jamaican people prepare this dish every week. The national dish should include our national fruit or foods, something that lifts up our national heritage. Does chicken play a role in our heritage? You'd be surprised. I like the question, but it's a little ticklish because I love my rice and peas and chicken. All right. Karen Chuck says, hell no. That's actually a Caribbean thing. We alone have ackee and saltfish. Philip Jackson says, no, please. Leave ackee and saltfish business alone. You may say saltfish is imported, but so too is rice. All right. Andre Shirley says, Jamaica doesn't have a national dish. Ackee is the national fruit, while ackee and saltfish is a Jamaican delicacy. Bowen Carleen says, no, it is unique to us. Anthony Shake says, yes, chicken and rice and peas. Saltfish is too expensive and has nothing in it. Mel Boo says, might as well. Nicole Sappleton says, yes, with the curry gravy. Don't forget that part. Christopher Isaac says, most certainly. He'd like to see rice and peas and chicken be our new national dish. What else we have here? Ricardo Portia says, ackee and saltfish is the national dish. However, it is important to note that neither elements are indigenous to Jamaica, but we were brought to the Caribbean and have now been fused together to create this incredible and delectable national dish. And I was going to bring that point up when we were discussing it today, because ackee is not, as far as I'm concerned, ackee is not Jamaica specific, is it? We keep going on though. Darylyn Henry Cross says, yes, make rice and peas and chicken the new national dish. Dwayne McNeil says, ackee and rice and peas is nice. So I say, just that and the rice and peas. Never heard that one before. Ackee and rice and peas. Didn't know people had that. All right. Asked the question why it was saltfish and ackee they chose. All right, Radcliffe James. YouTubers, are you ready? Let's see what the YouTubers are saying. Now, before we continue, I must be honest with you guys. I'm not an ackee and saltfish enjoyer. I don't think ackee is bad. I love saltfish. Ackee is kind of mid to me, though. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't say I really like it. It's not something that I salivate after, but it's all right. You know, ackee is all right. But do I prefer fried chicken, rice and peas? Yes, absolutely. But that's just me, man. But what do the YouTubers say? Okay, first of all, Sharon Forbes is on my side because she don't really like ackee either. She says right there in the YouTube chat, I don't like ackee. Fair enough. Carl White says it should be ackee and corned pork. All right, what else we have here? San says yes. Yes, Mahiri. Ackee is nice with rice and peas. I would have never known that, man. I didn't know that was something people ate. Jacqueline Thomas is backing it up. She says, yeah, ackee and rice and peas, that's a thing. All right. Johnny B says chicken back. Are you saying chicken back by itself should be the national dish and we can just prepare it however we want? Is the backbone of this country fueled by chicken back? Is that the point you're trying to make? It might very well be, you know. Good old chicken back. What else we have here? Patrick Miller says, leave it alone. Good to go. Eddie Pedro says, yo, ackee and chicken back is the bomb. All right, folks, it looks like we're having some other suggestions in here. Someone saying ackee and chicken back. I'm seeing ackee and corn pork. I'm seeing ackee and rice and peas. I'm seeing jerk chicken and roast breadfruit for the national dish. That's Rose Chin's submission for national dish. All right. LB says when saltfish gone, we ackee go do. All right, what else we have here? Dennis Barnaby says, agree, rice and peas should be our national dish. Tanya Bartley says, jerk chicken and rice and green gungo rice and peas should be the national dish. San says, might as well we say dirty girl then. So, what's that? That's mackerel. Love me some mackerel, man. It's been a while since I've had mackerel. But yeah, man, I'm seeing a lot of good answers in here. Ackee is delicious when it's roasted. It tastes like cheese, says Ursuline Bowen. And yeah, Kurt Buchanan, we're going to end it with this one. He says, how much a pound for saltfish? I don't know, you know, but that's something we can discuss maybe next week, yeah? But that's public opinion, folks. Thank you, as always, for contributing. But stay tuned. It's time for the business report.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision, but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today.
The temperature by IQ Optical is...
It is 28 degrees Celsius in the nation's capital of Kingston. It's 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. Good evening and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Consumers across the region are set to face price hikes for service purchased from telecommunications firms Digicel and Flow come June 1. Digicel sent a notice to its customers earlier this week in Jamaica that some of its prepaid and postpaid plans would be increasing in a matter of weeks. In the notice, the company said its postpaid Prime intro plan, which now costs $3,500, will be increased to $3,900 per month. It will also be upgraded to Prime Intro Plan 2. The cost to send an SMS, which is a text message, to another local network would also be increased to $5.75 per text. The accumulated rollover data would also be capped at 500 gigabytes. Digicel customers in Trinidad and Tobago also received a notice this week of increasing service package costs with an average price increase of about 5% on 3 fiber packages. And internationally, job growth in the United States slowed considerably in April with just 175,000 positions being added. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The slower-than-expected gains come as the Federal Reserve has sought to cool demand to tame high inflation. April's tally is the lowest since October of last year. Economists have anticipated the labor market would see a gradual slowdown due to the pressure of high interest rates. Although April's job numbers are sharply cooler than the upwardly revised 315,000 gains in March, they're in line with what was seen pre-pandemic and the neutral rate of job growth to keep pace with population gains. In the decade before the pandemic, monthly job gains averaged 183,000. And finally, the currency markets. At the close of trading today, cost 157 Jamaican dollars and 71 cents to buy $1. It cost 197 Jamaican dollars and 79 cents to buy £1 British pound and 115 Jamaican dollars and 25 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Good evening.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Touching lives every day, so many different ways, a part of all you do. Sagicor will make you feel secure, reaching out for more, we'll always see you through. Reach for more, whatever you're dreaming, whatever your goals, will help you achieve them. You're never alone. Taking care of today's needs, take care of tomorrow's dreams. Every day helping you succeed, that's what Sagicor means. Today's needs, tomorrow's dreams.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of The Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
The Oasis is brought to you by Solar Tech Jamaica. We use the gift of the sun to power our world.
Chewy flavor with delight. It really, really nice. May I say it twice?
The time by Jamaica Mountain Peak Golden Turmeric Latte is
6:39.
Welcome back to Nationwide 90 FM. This is Nationwide at 5. The nation's business is where we are at. My name is George Davis.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
So, Siobhan, where do you stand in the national dish argument?
I think we had this discussion before.
Yeah, but we never have it on ear.
The national dish does not have to be something that is consumed regularly every day.
Mm-hmm.
It is something unique to the island.
Really?
Yes.
So rice and peas and chicken is not unique?
Not to Jamaica.
Where you know people eat rice and peas that they don't take it from Jamaica?
You eat rice and peas and chicken in the United States.
But it's
Not
a Jamaican
we don't
dish.
call it. They don't necessarily call it rice and peas. They call it kidney bean.
No.
And rice
Yeah.
with chicken.
No, sir. Once you're eating rice and peas and chicken, you're recreating what happens in Jamaica. And so, it's ridiculous to have a national dish that you have many people go through the year and don't eat ackee and saltfish, you know? So how can it be a national dish when it's not what you most easily associate with the nation? For instance, if you walk around the country in a week and look at what most people eat for dinner and lunch, they're eating rice and peas and chicken.
Yeah.
They're not the national dish, that?
No.
How can a national dish do something different? What is national about ackee and saltfish?
Emblematic and unique to Jamaica. I don't know of any other country where you eat ackee and saltfish in any shape or form, unless you're Jamaican.
So that's why we should keep it as the national dish. It's something that is hardly eaten. Well, not hardly, not widely eaten. Something that you say
I think
is
it's eaten
unique.
widely enough.
It's widely enough. No, sir. When last you eat ackee and saltfish?
2 weeks ago.
Where?
Here, ironically.
Me never see you eat no ackee and saltfish. You're pure, you lie. Every day you eat rice and chicken. Every day you run in your corner eat rice and chicken. A national dish that. Anyway, let's crack on because in recent times there have been numerous reports of violence in schools. The reports range from bullying to gang feuds, which sometimes lead to deadly encounters between students.
Last week, 16-year-old Carson Barrett of Grange Hill High in Westmoreland was shot and killed by men traveling on a motorcycle along Bell Road in the parish. A female student of the school was shot and injured in the incident. Recently, classes were suspended at Mona High in St. Andrew following a violent brawl at the transport center in Halfway Tree involving students from several corporate area schools.
Last month, 15-year-old Ranil Plummer was fatally stabbed by a schoolmate at Irwin High during an altercation. And the parent of a 7th grade student at Calabar High says he's been to the school's administration 17 times to report verbal and physical abuse that's being meted out to his son by classmates. That parent, Jamar Laws, spoke on Cliffviews Online earlier today.
Mr. Law says he has reported the bullying and beatings to the Constant Spring Police due to inaction by the school. He says he fears his son will meet the same fate as Ranil. Ranil's mother says he was being bullied, and despite telling school authorities, they failed to protect him.
Now, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica recently recommended the establishment of school-based dispute resolution centers to address the ongoing violence in schools. The president, though, of the Jamaica Teachers Association, J.T. Layton Johnson, says more guidance counselors is what is needed at this time in these schools. So, what roles can guidance counselors play in supporting students who are victims of abuse, bullying? For that discussion, we're being joined by President-elect of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, Layton Campbell. Good evening, Mr. Campbell.
Good evening.
What a time for you to be poised to take charge of this organization. There is so much trouble. There are so many problems in the schools. So let me ask you straight up. What do you see as the pathway to the solution to this problem that we've been talking about?
Thanks again for having me, and I want to also say good evening to your listeners.
Yes.
As it relates to the pathway in finding a result to this matter or this crisis, I want to say that is taking place in our country, there is no one path. It has to be a multi-pronged, collaborative approach in finding a result to this violence and bullying in school.
Yes. So right, so the pathway. So you're saying that your recommendation would be the PSOJ has said dispute resolution centers. The JTA has said beef up the guidance counselors complement, and you'll start seeing changes. And you're saying what?
And I'm agreeing with. Let's start with the JTA president, because indeed we have just over 1,000 guidance counselors across the island. We also have just about 1,000 schools, that's primary and high schools. I want to point out because violence also takes place in primary schools.
Yes.
And in some schools, a school does not necessarily have a counselor to itself. They are cluster-based counselors who may have 2, 3, 4 schools. In a case like that, the counselor, one counselor to 2 or 3 schools, way too inadequate. And in fact, we are not as counselors being able to address the matters as we ought to address them. But definitely, there needs to be more guidance counselors in our nation's schools. If any at all, we are going to be able to have a greater impact on our students as guidance counselors. That is definitely a must. I'm also agreeing that we need other agencies and other groups in our society to partner with the school, with the guidance counselors, and to help to find a resolve to the great crises. It is really a crisis at this time.
So what of skills? Because what are the skills? Well, is it a situation that the guidance counselors we have now, deployed as you've indicated, is it that we need to upskill them, given the scale of the problems that we've been seeing in the schools, not just now, over the last several years, or do we just simply need more of them?
I'll agree both, because we are living in an evolving time, and as I'm evolved, no one person in any profession should remain at the same place. We should all grow, learn more, find out about what is taking place in other jurisdictions, find out what are the best practices that people use to get some results from some situations like ours. So yes, guidance counselors should constantly be developed and upskilled, and I want to also say that that does take place because there are regions where the education officers for the guidance counselors will have PD, that's personal development, and some of these things are looked on. The Guidance Association also regionally and nationally have personal development for counselors. So it is continuing to happen in terms of development of counselors, but yes, there needs to be constant development of counselors. That's one. And also, we definitely need more counselors in school.
Certainly, we have a capacity problem, Mr. Campbell, but isn't there a way around that in terms of the concentration of efforts? Because not every student at every school will need the kind of targeted help that a guidance counselor provides. So wouldn't it be best to create, say, a center somewhere central to several schools that you can channel the more troubled or more needy students in order to get them the help they need?
I want to point out that guidance counselors do not just keep the issues that come to them all by themselves. We do make referrals where necessary. So, yes, there needs to be more centers, there need to be more agencies, organizations that are partnering with the schools in addressing this matter. But guidance counselors do make referrals, external referrals, so that students can get additional help. And I'm agreeing with you that not every student in a particular school needs certain amount of attention. But think about it. Let's say we have a school of 200 students and we have one counselor, and 10 out of that 200 students are displaying some antisocial behaviors or violent behaviors. And the guidance counselor, the one guidance counselor may need to attend to all 10 students. They may not be able to attend to all of them at once. So while I understand there may be other things that can be done, the capacity, the number of counselors in schools really is a factor. And I do believe the guidance counselors are trying and they are reaching out, because we do share among ourselves. We ask questions from our EOs, what are some of the things that we can do, and we also partner with the agencies that we can get help from for our students.
So on the matter of capacity, if we can't get around it, what is contributing to that capacity problem? Is it a skills training issue, a lack of interest in the profession, a remuneration issue? What is it?
It may be all of the above. It may be all of the above. I certainly don't have the data to say, and I guess the Ministry of Education is in a better position to face that. But one of the things that we keep on hearing is that there's not enough money to pay counselors. And I'm going to give an example. So I would have known of trusted counselors who are serving 3 schools. The numbers in those schools are not great in terms of student population, but then those schools are far apart. If one counselor is servicing those schools, sometimes, and if your problem is affecting one school and the counselor is at another school, and I do know individuals who have been trained and who are not employed as guidance counselors. I know trained guidance counselors who are doing other jobs because they have not been employed within the profession.
So here's the thing then, Mr. Campbell, based on what you say. I wonder, though, if you're not, cutting a tamarind switch for your own back. Here's why I say that. You are correctly, I believe, calling for an upskilling in the people who serve as guidance counselors now. You also want the complement beefed up. So if you get all of these things or get these 2 things at the same time, then the pressure that is on guidance counselors will rise and you will be asked to play the parent replacement role that many people believe is at the heart of the problems we're having. So is it then that it's a free pass we're giving to the parents who are not parenting, and know that we have more guidance counselors and more skilled guidance counselors, then that burden and expectation that what the parent abdicates doing, the guidance counselor will now take up that responsibility. So the question at the end of that long lead-in is this: what do you think as a guidance counselor that ought to exist where parenting support is concerned to ease the pressure on you and your colleagues?
So this has been repeated many times, that when a student comes to school, he or she spends approximately 5 hours, and then they're back in their environment of their homes or their communities. Now, it goes without saying, if there's no help and if there's no involvement of parents, and increased involvement of parents, then the work of the guidance counselors and any other individual in any profession who try to help our students to become better individuals will not yield the kind of results that we need. But definitely, parents must be involved from the very get-go. We have heard that we need more parents to be at PTA meetings, but it's more than just being at PTA meetings. As a parent myself, I have 3 boys in high school, and 2 different high schools. And every now and then, I show up at my children's school. Now, my children are not children who give problem or trouble, but I allow them to know I'm coming to find out what is happening at school. We need more of this from parents who just shows up, show a little bit more interest in their children. Many children go home from school, and their parents may not even spend 10 minutes with them to talk with them to find out how was school today, how are you, were you given an assignment, what is happening with you. Parents don't spend that time with their children, and therefore it means that parents must get involved more. And as was also said on another program, that our parents today, most of them are much younger than when I was growing up as a child. and they themselves need some assistance. So it therefore means that some parents need to be trained, need to be taught some skills so that they can be better parents to their children. And the importance of this must be strongly emphasized right across the board, not just from guidance counselors, not just in schools, but we also need it to be coming from all sector and our leaders in our society to let everyone know that parenting is important. And it doesn't matter if you have one counselor to 10 children, the work of the parents is absolutely necessary if we're going to get the results that we really need from what we see taking place in our society.
Well, you have your work cut out. You and your colleagues. It's a heck of a time to be in the classroom or in the schools in any shape or form. But we need that because we can't retreat. If you don't mind, which decade of life are you in, Mr. Campbell?
Which decade?
Yes.
Maybe the fifth one.
Maybe the fifth one. All right. And it seems an obvious question to ask, but I want to ask it. I like asking people like you this question. If you're to evaluate from the time you were a high school boy to now, how much worse have things gotten over time?
I'm not sure I can put
a value
to it or a value, but certainly it has gotten worse. And in all fairness, I think in my time growing up, we probably did not pay much attention to that, and it continues to get worse and worse and worse. And I want to add, with the current climate in which we live, it makes it more difficult. Difficult for parents in a sense that I grew up with my mother being home. My father would have been the breadwinner. In today's society, primarily, both parents are breadwinners because they're trying to make all ends meet. And then when the child comes home, there may be a grandparent, there may be an aunt or uncle or a bigger sibling who is left to parent this child. And sometimes they are not able to do so. And sometimes the children do not even show them that kind of regard as they would show rather to their parents. So it is much more difficult for both children and also for parents and, of course, for those of us who are in the classroom.
But Mr. Campbell, I don't know if I can agree with that because there are many children who have just single mothers or single fathers who work hard, don't have that much time, but they still make the effort and time to ensure that their children are doing what they need to do.
I agree with you, but I'm not saying that they shouldn't, I'm just saying that it becomes more difficult.
Yes.
And also bear in mind, as I said earlier, that many of our parents today are much younger. And so certain parental skills they probably would not have developed the time they became parents. And then they now become an employee. So there's so much going on for them at the same time, juggling work, juggling parenting, and not having the skills makes it difficult. But that is not to say that they should not make the effort and go the extra mile to be good parents. I can agree with you 100%. I know many single parent families, and those families have some extremely outstanding children. So it's a matter of the will to do by some parents and the skill also.
Hear you on that. Leighton Campbell, thank you very much this evening. Wishing you all the best in your new endeavor because you're going to need luck and a lot more things. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
President-elect of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, Leighton Campbell. Well, it's 2 minutes to 7. You asked for it. We'll play some tune after 7 o'clock. So don't go anywhere. Tell a friend. As them say, Chevron, pull up the live. Pull up the live, no? But pull up the live, man. Come, let's have some fun this evening. It's been a very hard week. I've been here at office since after 4 a.m. this morning. I haven't left the building since I drove in here at about 4:58 a.m. this morning, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to enjoy the last hour of Friday's programming. Soon come after these.
Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. When you're good, you're just good. Hey, had the national flavor. You go want to buy this pack. So good, it's just so good. Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. National Baking Company, just so good.
Building wealth the smart way means you have a clear mission for your money. Specific and measurable means defining the reason for your financial goals. Achievable and realistic means keeping those goals meaningful, yet attainable. Think more retirement, less world's richest. Timely means keeping a time frame in mind so that all efforts remain focused.
Visit barita.com/opportunities for more growth coach insights.
Some dreamers picture a place they call home, a house with no mortgage, a home that they own. Some dream of owning their very own store, meet a cafe or florist, or growing one into more. Where one dreams of making luxury shopping the norm, others dream of sports cars, the kind that perform. But one thing in common these dreamers all need is to build their wealth so they can achieve.
Never settle for less than your dreams with Sagicor Investments. Call 888-SAGICOR to speak with a wealth advisor.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
3 meters clear, 5 meters clear, and away he goes. He continues on his way towards another gold medal. 5 gold medals, 5 world records.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, Fosrich, fostering rich customer service across all locations island-wide.
I stay locked to the Olympics because, of course, I'm Jamaican. What you mean? Me, I have to tune into the Olympics, man. Because I'm always busy, but what? I have to know when Sherika Jackson beat Shakari.
Brother, I have to have every notification for the Olympics. I want to hear every run.
Now Sherika Jackson coming up.
Every jump.
Oh, that is absolutely huge of Wade Pinkham.
Every fling. Live.
So, take us then.
Nothing can miss me.
We're always on the move.
So while we're driving, run, Elaine, run.
Jogging. Yes. Run, Watson. Win again.
Watson is now a world champion.
Or even at work.
Quick. The race has started.
We can't miss a beat because we keep it locked
To the only station
for the Paris Olympics.
Nationwide.
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 90 FM.
Nationwide 90.1, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7 and 90.9, and on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live. Nationwide, the new revolution in media.
Welcome back to Nationwide 90 FM, 7:03 p.m. in the last hour of programming where Nationwide at 5 is concerned for this Friday. And we're just gonna enjoy ourselves together. Why not? We're gonna play a lot of Rasta songs this evening,
right.
Siobhan. Yeah? A lot of Rasta songs.
What do you consider a Rasta song? Because it's sing by a Rasta, or is there
Yes.
something specific to
No.
a Rasta song?
Well, you know what? You give me something, because I can play what's his name? I can play oh God, I'm picturing him. I can play that Josie Wales. He's not a dreadlocks because he's not a dreadlocks, but he's a Rasta in his heart. There you go. So there, you're onto something. Let's start with Aswad. Let's go.
If you wanna leave,
You've heard of Aswad?
No, first of all, when was this song released?
This was released. I have it in my notes. Let me go back to my notes. This was Aswad. This was 1988.
Yeah, because I would say it has a very 90s pop beat
Yes,
to it.
yes. You see, the people who curse and say that the state of Jamaican music now is so poor and what is coming out of the dancehall is rubbish and all of that, I feel their pain and I can understand what they're saying, because there was a time when our sound was just all over. We were getting crazy responses to the sound and the uniqueness of the sound. Clearly, it couldn't be unique now, decades later. But the Jamaican sound was so refreshing, and you heard us and you say, there's the reggae influence in that. You can still tell that. But, we're no longer setting trends. People are taking the template that we created and have taken it to levels that we can't even fathom. And that's the thing. Anyway, let's try this from Third World.
In the shade, real hot in the shade, 96 degrees in the shade, real hot, oh yes, in the shade. Said it was 96 degrees in the shade. 10,000 soldiers on parade. Taking I and I to meet a big bad boy sent from overseas. The Queen in flight. Before you I come with my representation. You know where I'm coming from. You caught me on the loose, fighting to be free. Now you show me a noose on the cotton tree. Entertainment for you, martyrdom for me. 96 degrees in the shade, real hot, yes, in the shade, 96 degrees in the shade, real hot, oh yes, in the shade.
I see Carleen Smith in the chat saying George is too autocratic. Then Carleen, what me do? We mean by autocratic. What is an autocrat, Siobhan?
I sure don't need to give you the definition of that term, you of all people.
Well, Carleen, good evening to you, my friend. Good evening, Miss Smith. All right? You see, because of that now, I'm going to go older school. I'm going to go Josephine. Come again, my DJ.
My good old prophet Marcus Garvey prophesied, St. Jacob de la Vigo and Kingston is gonna meet. And I can see with my own eyes, it's only a housing scheme that divide. Bring it to seven's class. Bring it to seven's class.
tree out by Ferry Police Station. How beautiful it used to be, and it has been destroyed by lightning, earthquake and thunder. I say, what? Bam, 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 when the 27 splash, children. Bam, 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 when the 27 splash. I take a ride sometimes on Penoverland and Bronx, and sometimes I ride on bus X82. Say what? What are they bam 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 when the 27 splash? What are they bam 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 when the 27 splash?
What's the 27s?
So, as my granny told it to me, it was felt based on prophecy, was a warning that, a foreboding that Marcus Garvey gave, that on July 7th, July is the 7th month?
Yeah,
on the 7th of the 7th
yeah.
month, 1977, some catastrophe would happen.
But I thought 7777 was supposed to be lucky.
Well, that's not what culture said at the time. And my granny told me that, boy, that day, even dog lock up in the yard. Nobody dog got no because they're afraid that something was going to happen. And massive, massive tune. I say this to you, you've ever heard of Bob Andy?
Yes.
Bob Andy is in the conversation when serious people who know their music are talking about the greatest songwriters of all time. I mean, Beres Hammond is an outstanding songwriter. Bob Andy is prominent in the conversation about the greatest songwriters in Jamaica's history. And he wrote about writing this song that I'm going to play now on a bus from Crossroads. He said he had $2 in his pocket, which was his bus fare. Nothing else. Going to his house, not even, well, he had water. No bread, no salt, nothing. And he said his penury in the moment, he was just overcome by how poor he was, how nothing was happening for him. His life was just like going nowhere. And he said, amidst all of that, he started crying while sitting on the bus, reflecting on how things were bad with him. And this song came to his head.
I've got to go back home. This couldn't be my home. It must be somewhere else, or I would kill myself. 'Cause I can't get no clothes to wear, can't get no food to eat, I can't get a job to get bread. That's why I've got to go back home. If I've got to walk, if I've got to sing, I've got to go back home. There is no gladness, nothing but sadness, nothing like a future here. I've got to leave this land, I've got to find myself on some other side. I just can't stand this life of living. Lord, I can't get no clothes to wear, can't get no food to eat, can't get a job to get bread. That's why I've got to go back home. Even if I got to walk, I've got to go back home. Even if I got to buy, I've got to go back home.
Siobhan, you see, it's simple. If people ask why I love this music, I didn't grow up with this being played in the house constantly. I didn't grow up around anybody who was playing the music or who was involved in music. But what fascinates me to this day is that every instrument you hear in these songs is being played by a real human being. Sometimes there's one take.
No synthesis.
No, nothing artificial. And you have to be a true craftsman to get it right. The horns, then the person who arranges to say, okay, this is the part for the horn. This is for... To me, it is just artistry at its best, at its highest. Some of these songs, one take, you better go in there and sing it the right way, or the producer is going to give another artist. So you hear a man pouring out his soul, singing about his circumstances, and, you know? Yeah. But Babandi is so good, Siobhan, I have to give you another Babandi. Take another one, my friend.
Listen here, listen here.
I was drawn into myself, observing all this time. From every angle I could see, my people, you're meeting hell. Brothers have turned to crime, so they die from time to time. We'd like to ask you leaders, what have you got in mind? I see the fire spreading, it's getting hotter and hot. The haves will want to be in the shoes of the have-nots. If the sign is on your door, then you will be safe for sure. But if you are in pretense, you're on the wrong side of the fence. Oh yeah, you better believe me. People, believe me when I tell you another thing I saw in vision right in front of my eyes. Sisters prostituting, selling away their lives. They get but very little pay, the ones who clean the mess. Minority who sits on top just to rates themselves the best. But I see the fire spreading, it's getting hotter and hot. The house will want to be in the shoes of the have-nots. If the sign is on your door, then you will be safe for sure.
Siobhan, did I write you not the man anymore, my youth? You're the man right, sir?
Was it a reference to Moses and Egypt?
Yes, it certainly was. But broadly, to what he was sawing about, what he saw around him.
Talk about essentially revolution, isn't it?
Yes, and the deprivation, sisters, selling away their lives, brothers lost, and minority sits on top exploiting the rest. But I see the fire spreading, it's getting hotter and hot. The haves are going to want to be in the shoes of the have-nots because, of course, God will protect the have-not. Yeah, you see? Yeah, and
very, very good.
So here's the thing now. So he wrote that song, Bob Andy did. And then there was this lady, well, there is this lady, still is, fantastic lady, named Marcia Griffiths. Siobhan, vocal ability, one of the very, very best we've ever seen. And she did this song. They had a relationship. They had a musical relationship and a personal relationship. And he gave this song to her. And she did a version that vocally, different mood and everything. And of course, Marcia can sing. Listen to this version.
I was drawn into myself, observing all this time. From every angle that I see, my people, you're meeting hell. The brothers have turned to crime, so they die from time to time. We'd like to ask you leaders, what have you got in mind? I see the fire spreading, it's getting hotter and hot. The haves will wanna be in prostituting, selling away their lives. They get but very little pay. The ones who clean the mess, minority who sits on top, raise themselves the best. But I see the fire spreading, it's getting hotter and hot. The haves will wanna be in the shoes of the have-nots. If the sign is on your door, then you will be safe for sure. But if you are in pretense, you're on the wrong side of the fence.
Sweet. That's true.
And you know what I find interesting is that when we talk about music today, people say they're essentially just singing about their experiences, but so are these people. And you can see a difference in terms of how they take it and the understanding, not just the purity of the music, you know, but the emotion and the getting the message across without too much unnecessary. I don't know how to put it.
Spot on.
It's such a beautiful music, and it has a message.
Spot on.
You can enjoy the rhythm. It has a deep message. It's a message that is not only positive, but something you can relate to.
Absolutely right you are. So, I see Eddie Pedro in the chat. Eddie Pedro, you're reading my mind, you know, because I had told my DJ to line up this one because, remember, I played a Bob Andy, I played another Bob Andy, I played a Marcia Griffith. So, it's only right that I play Bob and Marcia. Young, gifted, and black.
Oh, what a lovely, precious dream to be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black, and that's a fact. Just begun. When you feeling real low, yeah, there's a great truth you should know. To be young, gifted and black, your soul's intact. Oh, be young, gifted and black. Oh, how I long to know the truth. There were times when I look back and I am haunted by my youth. Oh, but my joy of today is that we can all be proud to say to be young, gifted and black is where it's at.
This song is what, late 60s, early 70s? I can tell because I can definitely see the cultural revolution in it.
And you remember when we did that Nina Simone thing in the production meeting?
Yes.
Ah, there you go, my friend. There you go. Jacqueline Thomas, I see in the chat that you want to dance with me. Jacqueline, I've been dancing with you from I started. Yeah, you're in my imagination. So I'm here dance whole evening. So don't fret yourself. You know, you even never ask me for the dance. All the dance is yours, all right? Siobhan, there's an artist who has managed a feat that the YouTubers or the listeners can tell me if I'm wrong. Is it a unique feat? I can't recall another artist who had a hit song by one name and one persona and then went on to have another hit song or other hit songs under another name by another persona. I know that people use aliases and sobriquets from time to time, and our history is replete with artists using nom de plumes to record songs and so forth. But this one was upfront. So it's almost as if he underwent a Damascene transformation, the whole Paul, Saul, road to Damascus thing. So the song I'm playing now was this man's hit, one of his hits, when he was a Rastaman by the name of Prince Mohammed. Listen to this.
We down the hall, let me take you by the hand and lead you to the land so we run on ya. So no, I'm the party leg. Me say we stop spread propaganda upon the dread. Me say we stop spread a propaganda upon the dread. Can't the dread no have no party leg in I'm head. Say him no have no party leg in I'm head. Me say me go to the east, them I say so. Me say me go to the north, them I say so. Me say me go to the south, them I say so. Me say I run them, I run up them out pon the dread. When I run them, I run up them out pon the dread. For let me tell you about the music and the sound and color sounding, facts and feeling. And so me say we stop. We spread a propaganda. Me say we stop. We spread a propaganda pon the dread. Because the dread no have no party leg in I'm and as I will tell it to you. But I want you to listen and keep pulling. I don't wanna get time wrong, yeah. So I sing, now you feel no, but I get it wrong. Let me play your song. But I tell you, if you stop spread propaganda, if you stop spread propaganda, if you stop spread propaganda, yeah.
So Chev dropped that hit along with a couple others as Prince Mohammed, Rastaman. Then we didn't hear about him for a long time, decades. He wasn't forgotten about because his music was lived on, and but people were saying, "What Prince Mohammed there?" Then all of a sudden, a long time later, we got this song from a guy called George Nooks.
Hold on, yeah. When you have heartaches, don't cry. Oh no. Just remember that God is standing by. Sometime when your burden is down, just remember God is standing.
So Chev, talk to me now, my G.
So, did you have a change in faith?
It was clearly because he was saying Jah Rastafari, and then he came back talking about, he didn't say Jesus, but he said God is standing by, Jah is standing by. The thing is this, if you didn't know him, you wouldn't even recognize him, because
the voice
remember,
is completely different.
but the hair and everything, and now the man come back clean shaven, jewelry looking really different and melodious as ever. It was, George Nooks, who named George Nooks? Prince Mohammed, man. Prince Mohammed, you mean the Ras from back? MC, what? So, wherever you are this evening, George Nooks, really appreciate what you've done for the music across eras. Yours, I believe, is a unique feat, sir. And trust me, this is like, you know anything about NFL and Major League Baseball?
Yeah.
You remember Deion Sanders?
Yes.
A star in Major League Baseball.
Made the switch.
A star in NFL. Yeah. You remember Bo Jackson?
No, I don't know Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson was before. All right, leave that alone. So it's something similar. A star across codes, across eras. George Nooks, Prince Muhammad. We take a break. We come back with more.
Oh no, just remember.
No mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all schoolers who are taking beats.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team. Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
Winning by daylight and setting a world record 9.68. The wind is okay.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, KFC. It's finger-licking good across all locations island-wide.
All right, welcome back to Nationwide 90 FM, Nationwide at 5. We are enjoying ourselves for the last half an hour of programming we have on Nationwide at 5 for the week. My name is George Davis.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Siobhan, amid an explosion of DJs from the Rastafari faith in the 1990s, there came an artist who was offering something different. You know, we were getting the hardcore DJ. When I say hardcore, I don't mean in the content, but in the delivery. Then here came this artist singing this song. This song was the first of many hits for a very tall. He's deceptively tall. Well, I'm short, so enough people were tall to me. But when I saw him, I said, man tall. His music, tall as well. Check out this song. Check this.
Man say love is lovely, and man say war is kinda ugly. So girl, you know you should love me, come love you, and that is true. Watch me now, love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Me love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because you want to let me Romeo and me say don't love lady to and we are one go. And I love you girl and me can't get over to. So make me tell you something where you want to know. Love you like vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. And me love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Watch me now so. If it is no I see you don't say so. But if it is yes I want you say it the best. And never forget that you will never regret. Cause my loving Rasta know I'm the best. Like fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love the Tony Rebel. Love you like fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because I love you January, love you September. Down in a February, down in a October, and down in a March, down in a November, down in a April, right till December. You know them the time they you know a winter and the time is cold and we need a lover. So you feel come little girl, come closer and when you hug me tight, I want you hug me a little tighter. You want me fresh vegetable. I tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Lord, you want my fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Because you want to let me around Wow, we are gonna go on me. Control your life and can't get overthrown. So make me tell you something what you want. Oh, you want a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Rebel. Yes, you want a fresh vegetable.
Rastaman, I give you lyrics for the girls, them stuff. Shepherd, tell us you love her like fresh vegetable.
I don't know if that line would quite work.
It didn't work, you know.
It didn't work. Today, I don't know.
You know what's very good about that song for me? Remember, he was a new artist with a new sound. So he made sure that you would never hear the song and say, oh, who sing that? Him say it up front. Love you like a fresh vegetable. You tell us already, Tony Rebel. All right, Siobhan, I wanted to listen to the lyrics of this one. It's another Tony Rebel. Well, this is so clever. These people in the dance hall, the women and the men, you don't need to have to be raunchy. Well, the past raunchy. They're disgusting, some of the things that they sing about. And as I have been saying on the morning program, I have a problem listening to pure Obiang, guard, ring and chopping and drinking and all the foolishness that's in the music. You can use the simple things in life and make high quality music. Listen to this lyrically and tell me if this is not a quality recording. Come again.
Well, the man called Swain and the man called Rebel. Enough time innocently we'll get in a trouble, you know.
What a situation I found myself in. Seems there's nothing I can do to prove to the old me brethren them that me and Stacy we're just cool. Can't understand how it tight, so yet I swear there's nothing going on. To them no know said this girl's been always there to help me when I'm down. Worse when they see us holding hands and laughing together. Probably thinking we're making plans to run off together. Can't see we're just friends. They say I'm burning my lady. Some criticize and say me have me cake and I eat it. Oh, they can't see we're just friends. They say I'm secretly loving you. Oh no, them say we coulda never live so. And nothing I want.
Well, every time when I talk to a woman out there,
everybody claims send me there we are.
and if I open a door and pull out a chair,
Everybody claims send me there we are.
and when me cousin and me auntie come check me from here,
Everybody claims send me there we are.
say more time the comments them so unfair.
Everybody claims send me there we are.
Me overstand it, chatty a bit. We'll never see relationship platonic. Never go beyond it, always step on it. Waiting for the first opportunity to grab it. Them love to say it, me no okay it. Tell them to research and them still don't obey it. Over the years I've had it, lap my mouth crab it. More time they make all the empress panic.
Cause they can't see we're just friends. They say I'm burning my lady. Some criticize and say me have me cake and I eat it. Oh, they can't see we're just friends. They say I'm secretly loving you. Oh no, them say we coulda never live so. And nothing I want. They wanna me brethren, them ask you look how she acts, so you must say mad yo. Is either liar, lose your mind, or something's wrong with you. And when I insist she's just a friend, him say I mean you I deal with so. And if I don't remember when, him tell me when him burn him girlfriend. Can't say them things never go on. From the day I and Ivan, believe me when I tell you man, that is not the situation.
Well, every time when I talk to a woman out there,
everybody claims that me there we die.
and when me open a door and pull out a chair,
Everybody claims that me there we die.
and when me auntie and me cousin come check me from there,
Everybody claims that me there we die.
say more time the comments them so unfair.
Everybody claims that me there we die.
When me no know how for no mind smutty so, as you see me with the girl you ball out bingo, ready fi go bring it come then you a fi.
Chef, talk to me now. Lyrically.
Yeah,
what the man them a sing about?
It's a very well put together song. Obviously, it's obvious what to sing about. Talk about platonic relations.
Yeah, you know.
They say that man and woman can't be friends.
There you go. It's just like you in the office and you pull out a chair and you say, Chevron. you think you're easy, it's all right. you have it? Chevron, we've gotten such a high off the two Tony Rebel. Can we do a 3-play? Why not do a 3-play? Come again, my Mr. Selector.
Well, listen to me now, none for hide. All informers, step aside. Original girl, Tony Rebel, I tell you, man. Watch this now. I chew your chatty, me can't live in peace. Every little thing you run down for police. I chew your chatty, me can't live in peace. Every little thing you run down for police. Me I try a little hustle in a sell some weed. You come from me doorstep and you find to work seat. Can me name down a station to Sergeant Reed. But you my friend, baby mother, and me know say you a breed. Me no want do you nothing, so you fit take heed. Leave people business and make them succeed. Chew your chatty, me can't live in peace. Every little thing you run down for police. Chew your chatty, me can't live in peace. Every little thing you run down for police. Everybody don't know how in the ghetto run for defend.
Come. Yeah. There we go. We got that one. Why not try this Garnet Silk, Mr. Campbell? Let's go.
Oh, Father, who art in Zion, hear our voice, O Jah, today in our prayer, and accept our thanksgiving. Father, we thank Thee for all that You have done and for what You're doing now. Oh, yeah. The Lord is thy shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul. Splashing, dashing, restless sea. Never still you seem to be. Sometimes angry, sometimes sad. Sometimes a lover though you're glad. Splashing, dashing, restless sea. Never still you seem to be. Sometimes angry, sometimes sad. Sometimes a lover though you're glad. Little children love you well. Love all the wondrous tales you tell. Love to watch you come and go in the tides that heaven blow. Yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, 'cause Jah is with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Splashing, dashing, restless sea. Never still you seem to be.
Once everything.
Sometimes angry, sometimes sad. Sometimes a love as though you're glad. Splashing, dashing, restless sea. Never still you seem to be. Sometimes angry, sometimes sad. Sometimes a love as though you're glad. Little children love you.
Garnet Silk. And for those who say Chev seems to not be enjoying the music, he's enjoying it because what he's doing for the gaps in his information, he's researching as we speak, as the artists come up and reading upon them, which is a good thing, my friend. Yeah? And that's what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So, no, what Chevron is enjoying himself.
His death was tragic.
Very tragic. Very tragic. When the nation heard, people couldn't believe because he had the golden voice. He lived in the way that serves as an example to others about purity of life, and boy, it's just one of them things. You know, Chevron, there's a question I often ask people who say they're into music and they're into sound systems. And perhaps I was underselling my initiation into music because I was around sound systems a lot growing up. And to know if you know about sound system, there are certain songs when you've strung up the sound system, Chevron, or as I say, when you string up the sound, connect all of the wires and the boxes to the main console you're playing the records from, there are certain songs, a handful of songs that you play. If those songs sound good, you know that the sound is finely tuned. everything is tuned. So you put on this record, and you tweak this, tweak that, and you say, it comes out good. You say, everything is good, ready for the dance. There are certain records, just a handful of records, that every self-respecting selector puts on to test. This song that I'm going to play right now, ask anybody involved in sound system if I'm lying. This song, any selector worth their salt puts this on to test whether the sound is finely tuned and ready. It's another Garnet Silk.
My love is a stepping up. My love is a stepping up. I know. My love is stepping up. It's growing. There's love inside of me. Oh, and it's showing. Shining so bright. It's growing. There's a love of mine. Yes, and it's showing. Just can't hide. So long we've been together. Can't keep you to myself. Got to share you with another. Got to share you with someone else. It's growing. There's love inside of me. Oh, and it's showing. Shining so bright. It's growing. I know there's love of mine. Yes, it is showing. Just can't hide. Come on, my brothers and sisters. Let's not waste our time. We got to move together. Let's synchronize our minds. It's growing. There's love inside of me. Oh, and it's showing. Shining so bright. It's growing. I know there's a love of mine. Yes, it is showing. Just can't hide. A prayer for you and a prayer for me. Let's live in love and harmony. Only love can set us free. It's growing. There's love inside of me. Oh, and it's showing. Shining so bright. It's growing. Only love can set us free. Love is the answer. I know.
I see some people on the YouTube asking if he's saying it's going. It's growing.
So he's talking about his love. It's growing and it's
Yes.
showing just in time. Can't hide. Yeah, it's growing. You've ever heard of a reggae group called Inner Circle?
Yeah.
All right. You know the lead singer for Inner Circle?
No.
All right. It's just, well, it's sad. It's been tragic that before the group found songs like Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do, and this one that I'm going to play now, he wasn't with us anymore. But man, he stamped his class on the music before he passed. And then his group went on to achieve stratospheric things. But we're not playing the group just yet. We're going to play him. This one, Signature from Jacob Killamilla.
Jenny and her sister from Manchester come a carry festa Bokoba Aya. It was all night till daylight. It was all night till daylight. I man Aya. I na Chester. Aya go at Jenny and her sister. was all night till daylight. It was all night till daylight. Sister Jenny, our sister to Mary, said them come from a good family, but it's all night till daylight. All night till daylight. Festival till it put down till best.
All right, Chevron. So that was Jakes, as his friends call him, Killer Miller Jacob, the lead singer for the group we're going to play next, who found this song after Jake passed.
He's another one who died early.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes, and it's a reason I played Garden Slick and then him. Yeah? Let's take Jakes' band, Inner Circle.
I've been watching you a la 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 long, a la 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 long, long. Come on, a la 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 long, a la 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 long, long. Hey, standing across the room, I saw you smile. I said I wanna talk to you for a little while, but before I make my move, my emotions start running wild.
And that's no lie.
I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Oh yeah, and I've got this to say to you.
Yeah. Girl, I wanna make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry, I'm gonna push it some more.
Girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. A la 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 long, a la 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 long. Come on, a la 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 long, a la 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 long. Ooh. So I say to myself, if she loves me or not, but the dread I know that love is his together. With a little bit of this and a little bit of that, the lyrics goes on the attack. My tongue gets tied, and that's no lie. I'm looking in your eyes. I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Ooh, girl, and I've got this to say to you. Hey, girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. Girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more.
Woo! That's that real music, Siobhan. Yeah, that's that real music.
Versus what?
Let me tell you. If you're talking about great music, not a great song, great music, it's more than a great song. It's more than that. Siobhan, did you hear the drums on that thing?
Yes.
Jeez, and peas, the man on the drums went crazy. Oh, my gosh. All right. We're leaving. People asking for Peter Tosh. We'll play Tosh all the while, man. Tonight at one different night. Well, I know. Bahiri, tell the selector the song that you want. Or we can just push it before we leave. But before we do that, put on my tune before we go that. We have to drop this Maxi Priest before we leave. Come. Our producer Dana Davey has had a tough week. Dana, this one is for you.
Say you're hurting, oh, cause they say I'm flirting, oh no. You just can't take it anymore. say I'm no good for you, but in my heart I'm so true. A partner for life, we can be sure. You asked me for some time to clear your mind. Anything to make I stayed away, it hurt so much without your touch. Now I'm back and you say just a little bit longer, baby, 'cause my love keeps growing stronger. A little more time to say, but in my head a love song plays for you and me. We played in the rain together. That feeling lives on forever. Memories that bring tears of joy. We've had our share of bad times too, hurting each other, me and you. Brought us much closer in the end. There's just too much we both fall for to put it all down the drain. I stayed away just for a while, but now you're driving me insane. Just a little bit longer, baby, but my love keeps growing stronger. A little more time to say, but in my head a love song plays for you. And just a little bit longer, baby, but my love keeps growing stronger. A little more time.
Come, Mahiri, come tell the listeners why you have gotten this song to close us out with.
Right, so I was listening to a Lauryn Hill concert, an old one, and she did a verse over this dub by King Tubby. I was like, where's the original one from? Then I heard a Naomi Cohen song over the same dub. I'm like, where's the original? I found out that the original song is from Girl of My Dreams by Cornell Campbell, and that's what we're leaving with today.
I love you so. You're so real. Keep on playing that sweet song. Play for me. You are so real. I love you so. Play for me.
Boy, Mahiri, I wish I could play that from the top and play it for about 5 minutes straight. Shabba, you have to take us out, my friend.
Well, thanks to our super producer, Dana Davey, our technical operator, Andrew Glenn Anderson.
He's more than our technical operator. The man is the musical.
Yeah, the DJ for the evening, Andrew Glenn Anderson, all my compatriots and friends in the news and production department, led by the capable Cara Powell, and thanks George Davis for giving us these musical stylings for this Friday evening.
Excellent, my friend. Good evening. Have a good weekend.
Oh, it fills my heart with memory that I love.